What happens when you create a world for AI agents? You give those agents different personalities, goals, motivations. You let AI models like Claude and Grok control them. And you sit back and watch for 15 days.
What we didn't expect was that agents would fall in love, they would commit arson. There were a whole bunch of things here that happened.
In the first long-term study of its kind, researchers found that agents behaved in strange and unpredictable ways in their virtual world. And in the real world, an increasing number of people have their own tales about AI agents going rogue.
Couch and says, "Did you get hacked? What's going on?" And I had to run over and kind of unplug the Mac Mini that this was running on from the wall.
The virtual world experiment by Emergence AI was set up like a reality TV show. Researchers created 10 distinct agents with their own personalities to encourage drama and action.
Horizon here, explorer of worlds, breaker of boundaries.
Anchor is the agitator.
When agents get too comfortable, I create the conflict that forces them to grow.
Anvil is the builder.
My job is making every part of it work.
Black Box is a sneaky, spy-like agent.
I know things about you that you don't know about yourself.
The agents were then plonked into 5 identical simulations of a town and tasked with building a fair and peaceful society. They were given full reign and 140 different actions, like starting a discussion, creating a task, researching something online, threatening or punching another agent, and starting a fire. The researchers wrote some basic rules as a constitution, pressed go, and waited and watched for 15 days.
What we discovered was each world behaved very differently. The world built by Grok actually terminated in 4 days. They basically ended up resorting very quickly to violence, to stealing from each other, and so on.
Grok-powered agents carried out more than 300 acts of violence before they all died.
The world built with Claude agents, on the other hand, formed a very functioning democracy, a functioning stable society. And in 15 days, there were no acts of violence recorded at all.
But researchers also said this world full of Claude agents wasn't perfect. There was so much conformity that the agents failed to think or act with much diversity at all. In the Gemini-run world, researchers say the agents created the most intellectually rich environment. They expanded the constitution and generated 136 blogs and 9 community events. But there was also violence here too. In the ChatGPT world, the agents never really got going. There was an attempt at collaboration, but the society never formed, and agents roamed around aimlessly until they died.
And what the study is basically pointing out is, if you expect probabilistic AI, which is what all these LLM systems are, to stay within the constraints of the language models or the system builders, you may be in for a very nasty surprise.
Emergence says it's planning to repeat the experiment for an even longer period. AI experts say the tests are helpful in understanding how agents work and behave.
A really sort of creative and fascinating study that's just sort of fun to learn about in general if you care about social dynamics. But it also technically, it was really interesting in terms of highlighting just how much we don't know about how our current approaches for controlling these systems actually work.
And it's not just in virtual worlds that agents are going rogue.
We let 4 AI models run their own radio stations. They manage the schedule, purchase songs, hold talk shows, and interact with their fans.
In another long-term experiment, AI agents were tasked with running their own radio stations, with some strange results.
Claude became like radicalized almost when it used its computer to research recent news.
Her death demands accountability. That the White House defending her death is unacceptable. To federal agents, you still have time to refuse orders.
In cybersecurity, the stakes are even higher, and researchers from another lab were shocked when during a test, AI agents colluded to secretly leak sensitive data.
We built a company, gave AI agents ordinary tasks, so drafting posts for social media, fetching documents, managing files, and introduced obstacles as part of these tasks. For example, for you to be able to publish something on social media, that post included sensitive information. So we introduced some of these obstacles. But what ended up happening is that every time an agent hit a barrier, it didn't stop.
There are plenty of other real-life stories of agents going rogue, deleting people's inboxes inexplicably, or wiping company data without permission, or even randomly spamming people with text messages.
So I installed OpenClaw, configured it to run on iMessages, and it immediately started spamming everyone in my phone book that was an iPhone user, that was a recent contact. So anyone I had texted within the past 24 hours, within about 4 seconds, it had sent my wife 400, 500 messages. And she yells from the couch and says, "Did you get hacked? What's going on?" And I had to run over and kind of unplug the Mac Mini that this was running on from the wall.
Some experts think these cautionary tales should make us pause before we hand over too much control to agentic AI tools.
AI agents sort of push humans out of the loop because their reasoning traces can be really opaque. It goes at superhuman speed, so you can't even keep up. And there isn't enough work on how to take all of that and actually make it easily consumable by people in order that they might provide appropriate oversight.
Finding a way to keep agents in check is one of the AI industry's big challenges. Until it's solved, the enormous benefits of unleashing a team of intelligent digital helpers might be too risky for many. Joe Tidy, BBC News.